Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Huge adventure. I'll finish it off. There it goes. Yeah. Okay. So the header was a little bit slow coming in. Back again. This is the last one for a couple of days because I'm out of here very shortly, matter of hours. So it's the 6th of February, March, April, May. It is May, and things are starting to take shape now. I think once people watch what's going on in the next few days, they will get to understand how the actual pit stops work. It's pretty simple because you'll see they all stay for 8 days, and then when they set off, they're basically in the same relative position as they were when they arrived. So the race is on, the race continues in exactly the same format. And so that 8-day break is the same for everyone. If someone's got extra work to do and they're not ready to go in 8 days, then that's fine. They stay, but the clock starts in 8 days. And then basically what happens is once they get into Fiji, whilst the days at sea are distorted by saying that there's an extra, 8 to 16 and 24 days. Is that right? No, 23 days. So there's 23 days of stopovers. 8 days Marquesas, 7 days in Papeete, and 8 days in Tonga. So that's if my arithmetic is good, it's 23 days. Is that right? 8 to 16, 17, 8, and then 7. Yeah, that's right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 23. So all of them will have been at sea for less, 23 days less. So you subtract that and get their real time, and then they have a mass restart, and there'll always be a correction factor now for each of the legs, because any of the legs would pick. Well, in the mass restarts, there's a correction factor, which is the same in Panama. As you know, Renault got in first there, so he's got an advantage over the others. So Dan's not actually just 13, 14 hours behind or something. He's got the calculation also from leg 1. So once we get to leg 2 and all the boats are actually finished, when they've actually finished, we'll be able to assess the actual combined results for leg 1 and leg 2 and give you the corrected time into Fiji, which is going to be kind of fun. So it's not as simple as just one race in one design boat, so it's, there's a few additions and so on, but we're off around the world, so that's kind of cool. And I'm a bit dark on this because I haven't heard a lot of info on what's going on. I've been dealing with the entrants with their navigation, and it's all going okay. There's 5 or 6 entrants that are still doing the navigation. I know the work list of most of them, what they're doing, but I'm not sure of the status report of actually what's happening. So that picture of Origami and Kerry at the front was he's on the move, so maybe he's bolted the air he's on and he's underway. So that's kind of, they're all heading into the Upu port. I don't think that's how you pronounce it, but it sounds good to me. Upu. Anyway, let's get into the tracker. This will be a bit of a quick one. Here we go. Here, if I hit that one there, yep, you've got the tracker. So hopefully you can still hear me and see what's going on. I might have to come back on this in a minute just to double check. I'm just going to quickly check Renault. He wasn't on for, no, he's down 4 hours, so he's behind everyone else. But basically you can see what's going on from here. Kerry's going across to Upu. Pila will be ready to leave very shortly. She's still there. She's got approval to leave. She finished all her requirements, so she can take off when she's ready. And Dan's been out for, I'm not sure how long. Let's see. He's done 35 miles. So, yeah, he's only doing 5 knots. So he's been out 7 hours. I didn't think Pila was that far behind him. Maybe she's got a problem. So he's on 1600. She's on 1600. That's interesting. I don't pay as much attention as their actual timeline when they come in. I should be keeping up with that, but I didn't think she was. Oh, maybe she was. Yeah, maybe it's Kerry and her. I forget. Yeah, they were. That's right. Sorry, my mistake. Dan got in pretty close to Renaud, but then it was Kerry was the next one, and then jeepers! I better be careful what I say now. I completely forgot. Too many things going on. Anyway, they're both headed there to take off, and I'm not sure what the others are doing. You can see. Well, before we go there, we'll go to the back end of the fleet to see what the boys are doing right back here. They're still plugging along. John's having a bit of an issue with his one of his asymmetric furling gears. Where are we? Past them. There we go. So we'll see what happens there. So at the moment, there's 12 o'clock position, and John's on 1600 position. So that's why they're separated. They're not really separated. So there's two boats that have got 4-hour delay on their position. So that means, I know they'll be side by side. But anyway, at 1200 UTC, Mike was doing 4.7 and he did 97. They're actually in the trades. You can see that pretty clearly. Let's just pop it through. One day it's going to pick up a bit. You've got a patch of yellow there, a bit more yellow, so they'll be making a bit faster. I think they've got more breeze coming in the next 2 days. So that's pretty cool for them. And we haven't measured their distance out for a while. Yesterday I did a bit of a stab in the dark. We better have a look just to see. Okay, so 2,078 to go. So, 16, 17 days maybe, something like that. I'm just going to peek back here to see if anyone's complaining they can't hear me. Link to the tracker again, please. Link to the tracker again. You should be getting the tracker. Is everyone getting the tracker and everyone get the tracker and hear me? Can someone pass a comment there just while I'm looking? Anyway, you should be getting the tracker. I'll come back and have a look in a sec. Okay, so there's 2,078 miles for that one. While we're there, bring this through to Gary. Gary's about 90 miles, I think, but he's not necessarily going too fast by the look. So Gary currently doing 2.2 knots, and he should be doing faster than that, but he did 90 miles in the last 24 hours, so that's about right, but I'm not sure why he's showing 2.2 unless there's something going wrong with the transmission of his position. Who knows? But he's showing at 1,600, so that should be correct. And distance to go is 245 miles. So still got a way to go. That'll be a couple of days, 2.5 days. Still, that's interesting. That is what I was projecting earlier this morning. So anyway, yeah, he's still moving, but I don't know why he's so slow there. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. And then now if we blow this up, we can see that everyone else except all the others are in port doing different things. So Jasmine is in the little anchorage where everyone goes. Dan Turk is over there as well. And the others, I know Adam's still be working on his wind vane probably, and Christian is doing some media and bits. We're looking forward to getting their pictures and videos. We're getting a growing list, so that's kind of cool. Kerry's making away dead downwind at 3 knots. He's got not long to go. Anyway, he'll be in there with Peeler. Dan is currently doing 5.1 knots. He's 35 miles in the last 24 hours because he only just started, so to speak. So Renaud doing 6.4, but he's on a different timeline. So 6.4 is a 24. Let's just see how far ahead of Dan he is. I'll just hit that and come over here. Hit that. 24, maybe there. That's 23. That's not a bad guess. I'll bring it out to 24. Maybe about there. It'll be a bit over that probably, but that's fine. That's probably where he is. And then that puts Dan Holiday Dan, at about 98 miles behind. So he'll have to pull his finger out to get into him before Papeete. They've actually got, I'm just going to show you the navigation challenge now before we go into the weather. I'm not sure whether it will show up. Yeah, it does. Okay, you can see what's going to go on here. I don't know whether you can see that, but each one of these is a reef. Okay, they're very defined. They're well charted. It's good to ground proof your electronic charts when you go through, rather than go through in the night and assume that the reefs are in the right position. Usually, relatively, it's consistent. So if you come up to in daylight to the first reef as you get close, the idea is you just do a positive identification of the reef, work out the distance off, just visually, and look at what your chart plot is saying. Once you've got that, if you detect, say, a 50 metre or a 20 metre error, it's going to be like that all the way through. But there's pretty big holes there. If we come up on this, just where the rum line's going, just to give you an idea of the distances here. Okay, the gap, if they follow the rum line, it's the shortest direct route, that's 9.5 miles, which is really big. I thought that was a little island there, but it's my dirty screen. It's okay. So that's pretty clear. You can keep your eye on that, come the other side of that one. But you want to be checking. The rule of thumb, certainly when I say reefing, you want 3 fixes. You want three different, to be absolutely sure, 3 different pieces of information to confirm exactly where you are. Could be visual, could be radar, could be depth, could be, celestial fix, could be GPS, whatever, but I never trust one. You never believe it, So you get your GPS and plot it on your paper charts, that's one. You use your chart plotter, that's another one, but the chart may be out, the plotter, the digital position may be out, and you might not have a visual, but if you get the visual, if you've got 3, you're pretty happy to go through some of this stuff. So they got a bit of fun there. If they know anything about the Tuamotus, they'll be a bit miffed that they can't stop. I believe, I won't mention names, but I believe 1 or 2 entrants may actually stop and spend a day or two in one of these Tuamotu atolls. They're all typical atolls, fringing reef, beautiful sand cays and islands, palm trees, all that sort of stuff. The bad news is they've usually got ciguataria for the fish, so you've got to be careful what fish you get. Anyway, that's a bit of a quick brief on the challenges that they've got going through to Papeete, which is down here. And then the finish line in Papeete is pretty straightforward. There's a gate they have to cross, or a line they have to cross, which they can do day or night. I'm not sure whether I've explained this before, to show you exactly where we're going and things that... Oh shit, I forgot. I moved the aerial for the Starlink. I've got it on our rib on Mona, but I moved it down the ground. I had to sort out the cover because I'm leaving for 6 months. Okay, so we might be a bit slow, but I think we're okay. So that yellow line there is actually on the entry leads. It's two lights or 2 poles that line up to guide the big ships into the harbour. Okay, so you can clearly see this yellow, the leads come in line, and so they'll be usually coming from the northeast. And so as soon as they cross that line, that's when they take a photo of their GPS chart plotter and file that to us, and that's when their 7-day timeline starts. Okay, and then they have a few options. Once they've gone across that, they can cross it anywhere up to we've got a set distance, I think, of maybe half a mile or something. Across that, they come into the harbour, the city marina, and all the action is over here. And there's one other marina, which is right around the other side. There's only one real anchorage. You come into this inside the lagoon, you come here, and that area there is the anchorage. Northeastern end or the southwestern end when you go across. That's the normal yacht anchorage. You have a very good tender to work there. Most of them will zip around town, but it's quite a distance. And you need a big tender, not a little paddleboard or something. And then apart from that, if you come down inside the lagoon here, these are moorings here. They're all moorings, and there's another big marina here, Tahiti Marina. And that's where Tahiti crew are based. That's where their office is based. I mean, customs are all over the place. But with Tahiti crew, they usually have customs will come to you and so on. So that's where they're going. And there's a lot of interesting history with Papeete, with Captain Cook. Then the normal indigenous history as well. It's a lot of culture there, a lot of famous French people there, artists, Gauguin and blah, blah, blah. So they could have a bit of fun, but finding a mooring, finding a berth, it's going to be very difficult. There'll be lots of tales to tell on exactly what happens there. So coming back to now, and so that's where they're going, and they've got 7 days there. I'll shrink this down so you can see the general course. They go from the Tuamotus to there is where it happens. The weather there can be quite challenging. From Apataki, this atoll here, we picked up a Lagoon 450 there, came down here. Forecast was 20 knots. We were hit with 50 knots. 5-6 meters all on the beam. It was just nuts. And there was nothing on the forecast, nothing on windy or anything. It was just crazy. They get a lot of localized. It wasn't a squall because it went on all night. It went on for 12 hours. Anyway, that was part of the fun. So, and what time of the year was it? It's actually about now. No, I don't know. I forget now. Oh, going the wrong way. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you're hearing all this. I'm just going to check back now. Gotcha. Sound good. Okay. Tracker good. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we're back to the tracker. Put the wind on. Come back up. We're going to check the weather for a couple of days just to see what it's like. But now you are really in the established trades. We're later in the season. It's ticking over. Not too strong yet, which is fine. They usually get stronger in a few months. It can get quite boisterous, but it's always a bit lighter on this side of the Pacific than the middle of the next leg from Papeete to Tonga. I think they'll have some stories there, but we'll have to wait and see. So generally speaking, let's just come up a bit here. You can see Gary there. We come through a day. Boom, boom. Near enough to a day. A little bit more breeze by the look of it. Just a little tad. And the same, pretty much the same. So that's 120-day material. 120 miles a day material all the way through. No problem with that. And I think that's just about all I can tell you now. Yep, that's it. So I'll just come back here and say good day, answer any questions. Oh, before we do, you see this? This was in Holiday Dan's photos of these two around the island. And it's actually in the background when you're looking at the photo gallery, the background of the anchorage when Dan takes a shot from his boat, I think, or whatever. There's a boat there. It looks like a nice boat. And I'm not sure what happened. Didn't need the story, but it hasn't been there that long. Maybe weeks rather than months. But once it's up like that, it's a bit hard to get it out, eh? Always a challenge. Anyway, that's that one. Let's see who's here and what's going on. Link to the tracker, Jared. I think we've done that. Graham, hi, Don. Safe travels. Thanks. It would be great to hear you've arrived. Started getting adverts on the live. So there's Graham, you might be on YouTube because YouTube we do monetize. We make about $2 or $1, €1. But YouTube generally is monetized. But Facebook, it should be fine. And sometimes in the past, when it's live, they don't usually they're not set up for the ads. The ads usually come in once you start doing the replay. But anyway, we're capitalists and we have monetized the YouTube, and so but yeah, but not at the extreme end because you can have different levels. We've got the absolute minimum. It's interesting that now as you probably know, anyone's watching Facebook, there's a lot of advertising on Facebook, but I haven't seen people getting paid for that. I think it's just Facebook putting it up. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, John. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Thanks, John. Sounds good. Tracker's good. John, will you be able to do tracker updates to China? Shh. Yes, but don't let them know. Okay. sometimes the battle when you go back, the government will get really hot on the VPNs, and you're struggling. They'll work out a way. We had one time a year or so ago. Jane was back there, and they were literally chasing her, not physically in the street, but she'd get one up, and they have like thousands of Chinese there working constantly trying to block VPNs, and they see something come up, and I reckon they were following her. They would do an alert, and next minute, bang, and get knocked out. But at the moment, they've backed off a bit or whatever, but the VPN is working, so we still get Facebook in China, and we do all the right things. I actually like China. Forget about politics and all that sort of stuff, but China is an amazing place. I've been there regularly since 2005, and it blows you away some of the stuff that goes on there. And the people are super friendly, super nice. The food is fantastic. If you ever get a chance to go, I like the food. Jane's mum cooks some amazing stuff as well. So anyway, off track here. So yes, we can. Hang on, I missed. You'll be able to, yeah, but I'll be off the F 2 days because we'll be travelling, and then I've got to go across the big bridge and then catch get a taxi back there, and then I'm there late, and then I've got to get organised for a day. So it'll probably be 2 days off the air, but I'm sure you can follow the tracker and bits, and then I'll be back. So yes, adverts live on YouTube. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Hi Graham, I get the ads on live YouTube, but also on other YouTube lives too. Oh well, yeah, interesting. So that's how it works. In the GGR, the monetization makes a difference. We had 60,000 followers, and we get like 25,000 subscribers. I think it's 25, maybe 22. But we'd make all of about $15, €15, something like that. But by the end of the month, you're still making a couple of grand, and it helps us a lot. But early days yet, so don't forget, like, subscribe, put up with the ads, and we'll all be rich and we can all go sailing. Thanks for that. Okay, that's it. All right. I know it's weird over there, yeah, John. Yeah, no, it is. I like China. I've never had any worries there. The people are cool. The kids are great. And there's a lot going on in China right now. Not about Taiwan. I'm talking about the people. So anyway, all good. All right. So thanks everybody. I'll see you in a few days, and keep supporting all the individual entrants as well. Get on their Facebook pages and look and stuff. Jane will still be sharing some posts and stuff. She's still there working. All good. Rightio. Let's see if I can now. Oh, that's not back to the thing. I can't run that. I'm trying to run the. I'll see what happens when I put it up. Anyway, we might get the last bit of it. It could be a frozen screen. Anyway. Oh, no. Okay, that's all you get. So we'll see you again soon. Thank you.